But The Stick of Truth is like a 10+ hour long episode that will have you laughing and possibly gagging at the same time. If you're a fan of Stone and Parker, you're going to be a fan of this. It's beautifully scripted and disgustingly funny, so I put together the top 5 best and top 5 worst things about the game. We'll start with a nice one. It's just like the show. Matt Stone and Trey Parker have scripted this one to perfection. It's just everything gross and funny about the TV show, and you'll sit there going, what the heck am I playing? You'll be laughing out loud and then feeling dirty for it, which I think is the perfect combo. Like Randy Marsh after one of his frequent masturbation sessions, you're gonna need a shower after this one. Next up, anal probing. Well, not actual probing, just the fact that it was censored alongside abortion minigames in the European and Australian versions of the game, which is a shame because you've got to try everything once, right? They're up for Nazi zombie fetuses and searching the anal cavity of a man who has clearly been up to all sorts, so why was the line drawn? Well, at least we do get these pretty funny sarcastic text fills from Stone and Parker as a consolation prize. Then there are the crazy twists and turns of the game. It's got an amazing variation with all sorts of levels backed up with a great storyline that adds a different flavour to the game rather than just straight up gameplay you've been teased up to this point. For a game that is far from delicate, the left stick requires you to caress it to select your abilities rather than go full throttle, which at first is hard to get used to. You've got some great additions to the game like fast travel flags so you don't have to waddle your way around the streets of South Park, customization of your character, junk that brings you the dollar, odd tangents.
Wizard King, step forward now and fulfill your
and straight up taking a poop. You'll come across some bits of the game that make no sense until you pick up an ability later on. You've got a skill set of farts that you'll end up using all sorts of ways at the object you think at least one of your parps will destroy. There's a great use of all the characters. Anyone who's a fan of South Park will be pleased to see the whole gang plus all the classics popping up left, right and centre. Some could say it goes too far, but you're wasting your time if you're going to try and figure that one out, and really you shouldn't be playing a South Park game if you're not ready to cross the line over and over again. The variation of who you'll get to battle is always interesting, and they do get progressively harder and longer. And as long as you equip yourself correctly, you'll always be a step ahead of your opponent. But being a step ahead all the time does make the combat weak. You're not going to be challenged here, and once you establish the best moves, you'll end up just using those repeatedly until you defeat your opponent. This game is brilliant and very funny, and if you return to play it again, you're probably doing it for the same reasons you watch a South Park episode again, for the funny gags and storyline, not for the RPG qualities. But what it lacks in gameplay, it makes up for being the closest thing to an incredible South Park spin-off.